Welcome to enVisioning Success, the weekly podcast that's your prescription for business clarity. In today's episode, we're talking about your avatar, aka your ideal client. Join Laura and Julia as they share their insights on the profound impact hiring decisions can have when trying to reach your avatar. Learn why it's essential for staff members to deeply understand and align with your avatar's needs and values.
Hi, I'm Laura DiBenedetto, and I am so excited to welcome you to another exciting episode of enVisioning Success. I'm joined by Julia Becker-Collins. Today, we are focusing on a brand new topic for this next 4-episode arc. We are talking about how to build a business that resonates with your avatar. And today, we're talking about assembling your avatar dream team and actually hiring with your customer in mind. I'll be honest with you, ages ago, I did not hire with my avatar in mind. I didn't. And most people don't, but it's really important as we're thinking about as our businesses mature and as we ourselves mature, some of us slower than others. We want to make sure that we actually think about every choice that we make in our business. Yes, we talk about marketing, obviously, but we also talk about sales, but hiring really makes an impact on your avatar's journey with you. And we're just super excited to talk about that because now that we've grown up and stuff, sort of, we are very happy to have a great team that aligns with our avatar. And, again, it's not the big blue people, but if, our customers happen to be blue, that's fine. We celebrate all colors. So it's cool. I know it's punchy. It's not a Thursday afternoon that we're recording this. It's actually a Tuesday afternoon. So, we're moving things up in the week. Just a reminder, we want to let you know that our website is vision-advertising.com. The show is sponsored by Vision. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary, and you are cordially invited to get more free stuff. You can hijack our brains by signing up for email. If you go to our website, you can get all kinds of great stuff delivered to your inbox. Julia's over there giggling. I'm not that funny.
Because earlier you're like, well, we sort of grew up. And in my head, I was like, well, the business grew up, but we didn't.
No. I mean, I look like an adult, but it's just a passing resemblance.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Well, let's dive in. This is a super fun subject. And don't forget, sign up for email. You can get all kinds of awesome stuff for free that helps you and your business grow. So, Julia, my darling, my work wife, love of my life, tell me about this subject from your perspective.
Well, I think you made a really great point earlier that we didn't, as a company, previously hire staff with the eye or the lens of who we sell to and who we serve and who is best served by the services we provide. And I think that's a common mistake. I know lots of successful companies that don't do that, but you can be more successful, as we always talk about on this show, more successful, making more money, by hiring staff and recruiting and retaining your staff with the lens of who you sell to. What I mean by that is, are they going to interact well with that avatar? And that's like a really base level. If you hire people that can't be public facing and they need to be public facing and your avatar has no patience for that, that's not going to work out great for you. Also, are they the type of people that can communicate really well to that avatar? Are they the type of people that understand that type of person? Are they the type of people that are excited to work on that type of brand or with those type of people? This isn't saying that the people you hire, or even yourself, you don't need to be in love with your avatar. You don't need to have babies with your avatar.
Go procreate.
Right. This is a no procreation show. But what we are saying is that everyone on your staff, once you get to this point, needs to understand deeply who you're trying to sell to and what they bring to the table to help meet that potential client or current client where they are and how to move it forward. It's something I definitely screen for when I hire staff. And it's something that a woman on our staff who hires interns also screens for. So at every level of the company.
Yep, absolutely. I think it is important. No, you don't have to be deeply head over heels in love with your avatar, but it is actually really helpful if you hire staff that have an appreciation for that specific type of person, because if you make the mistake of putting people on your staff who happen to loathe your avatar, they're really not going to try their hardest at all. They're just going to be like, tried, and kind of phone it in. And then they'll just treat their job with you just like a job versus really being of service to your clients. And I mean, isn't that the point? I mean, you're the business owner or one of the leaders of the company. That's why you listen to this show. You care about your avatar. You want to make sure your staff does.
Right. And it's the same idea as thinking about what product or service that you sell. When you hire staff, they need to either have an understanding of the product or service or the ability to learn those things, but you don't want to hire people that hate what you sell. So in the same vein, you don't want to hire people that hate who you sell to. You want people that can relate to those people. You want people that can comfortably chat with them. This is not to say that the people that you hire would want to be best friends with them, but it's that they enjoy what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. It matters. I think that a lot of people include questions about, hey, do you understand what it is that we do here? And, people are often screening in the HR and interviewing process for, do you understand what we do? And do you align with what we do? But this show is about taking it a step further. Do you know who we serve? Do you know why we serve them? Do you know who they are? And do you actually align with them? Because if you don't, it's actually not a good fit.
Right. Agreed. And it's, it could be that it's a good hire, personality wise, but they functionally can't absorb the information. It could be that personality wise, it's not a great hire to interact with your avatar, but they understand the information. It's trying to get all the dots in a row to have kind of that next level hire. And
you don't want a values conflict either.
Right. You don't want a values conflict. There's lots of things. And I think that's something that's missing in HR screening, especially these days. You have the standard questions that are always being asked, but they're not really checking in to see if everybody is going to be happy, right? Like, I'm not saying you can guarantee happiness, but you have people that stay on board a lot longer. You retain your staff a lot longer when they like the people they work with, they like their boss, they like the work they're doing, they like who they are serving, etc. And it's better to take that time up front than deal with the problems on the other end.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I've definitely seen some conflicts. I mean, again, I started this company 25 years ago, and I've definitely made my hiring mistakes. I mean, come on, man, I was 19 when I started the company. Cut me a break. I've made a lot of mistakes over the years. And one of the mistakes I made probably in the first, 10 years of my business was just hiring people that I really liked and, looking for skill fits, but not asking enough questions around whether they would really fit with who we're selling to. Once I started changing the way I'm interviewing, it really made a difference. And, you've taken over and, you do the hiring now, but, there's definitely a big difference. And I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as, disc styles. You want to make sure that people actually know how to communicate with each other. Because let me tell you something, when you lose clients, that sucks and it's expensive. And when you lose your staff, that sucks and it's expensive. Even if you are the one firing everybody, it's still expensive to replace people because the recruitment costs, the onboarding costs, staff and clients alike. It's awful. So it's better to just take your time up front and actually say no to more people.
Right. It's, I've been saying for years, and I've said it to you, I've said it to the staff, hire slow, fire fast. And I really, truly believe that you should take your time at the start of the process to make sure that you are investing in the right person and they're excited to invest in you. But if there is a problem, it's time to move on. So I think that's something that a lot of business leaders struggle with, just because you feel the pressure of filling the role, et cetera. But it'll be better in the long term if you really make sure it's a good fit.
Agree. We always try to come into these episodes with some questions teed up just in case we suck at podcasting and we don't know what to ask each other. Hey, just being honest, we believe in transparency here at Vision.
We suck at podcasting, and sometimes we don't suck at podcasting.
True. Today is one of the days we don't suck, so glad you're here.
That's what I'm here
for. But one of the questions that's not written down that I really wanted to ask you is, can you tell me about how you're using disc styles and Enneagrams for avatar and staff alignment?
Yeah, so disc styles and Enneagrams, just in case anybody doesn't know, are both personality tests. We traditionally at Vision have used the disc test. It's DISC, to look at people's personalities during the hiring process, et cetera. And that's been helpful and, awesome. But that we also want to look at Enneagram styles because that's a little bit more nuanced. There's 9 Enneagram styles. Again, these are all really common personality tests that you can, get the tests, I believe, for free online. I know there's professionals that help you walk through how to use them as coaching tools. But when I think about it, I think about, if we're looking at the DISC test, what is the skill set that somebody in that role is going to need? So, for example, not even diving into the avatar, just as a personality portion. If somebody's in management and they're managing another human being, they need to have a high level of D in their DISC test because they need to be able to be direct, to the point. They need to be able to take charge, etc. It's not going to work out for somebody with a high S or C to be in management because they really need a certain personality style. So that's really helpful. The other part of it is that, looking at the Enneagram, it helps you as the employer understand, how do you motivate this person? How do you have problem-solving conversations with somebody? So Enneagram 2 is somebody who is highly emotional. They feel their feelings with a capital F, big time, and they consistently feel like it's their fault. And
are you describing that one because it's your own personal nightmare to deal with someone's feelings?
And also, I have a dear friend who's an Enneagram 2, so I feel like I'm inside of it all the time. But, as an employer, it's helpful to know, okay, so if they're somebody who feels their feelings, really intensely, that's okay. Everybody's different, but you go into it knowing okay, I should couch things a certain way, have a conversation in a more gentle manner, et cetera, versus if you're dealing with an Enneagram 8, which is who I am, they want the bottom line immediately. They want to be in charge of their own destiny. They don't like other people taking charge. They want to be told what's going on, and they actually get annoyed if you beat around the bush, which really does sound like me. But that's helpful to know when you're managing because then you can just be incredibly direct with the person. Now, thinking about how both DISC and Enneagram interact with your avatar, it's helpful when you're putting that avatar profile together to think about, what is their personality style? Where do they fall on the DISC chart? Could they be an Enneagram 5, which is much more even keeled and definitely not feelings first? And then that helps to understand how do other Enneagram types or DISC styles interact with that specific style. So you're really taking a step back and saying, do you think this is going to work out, both from how they interact with the other people on the team and how they interact with the avatar, and how do they feel about serving that type of person?
And also how to support that person that you bring on in interacting with that person really well.
Right.
Having been doing all of the disc style assessments for 10 years now. I mean, I'm a huge believer. I love it. It's not a pass fail. It's
Right.
a just where do you fit, and more specifically, how do you make decisions and how do you like to be treated? That's all.
Right.
And when we have that information about the avatar and we have that information about the staff member, we can effectively bring almost anyone who is a good values alignment, good skill alignment on board, because then we can kind of play Cupid, if you will, and coach from behind the scenes. Hey, this person is of this style. They would prefer if you communicate more directly, or they would prefer to have more relationship building with you, or they would prefer to collaborate with you, or they would really, really like details. So, make sure, staff member, when you're supporting Bob the client, make sure that you treat him the way he likes to be treated, and then, honestly, I've given some of our clients some coaching as well. Be like, hey, just so you know, this person tends to really love to build relationships. We're definitely going to do things your way. But just so you have an optimal relationship with this person, I'm just telling you up front, because here's the thing that you'll find true. Most people do not consider disc styles when they are falling in love, when they're dating, when they're going to work, when they're serving their clients. And people just exist in the world, just doing their thing, just being how they're going to be and hoping to God it works out. I don't like doing that because I feel like it's just hoping and praying, which is something at our company that we just don't do for marketing practice. Why would I do that as a business practice? I like to have every advantage as I can. I like knowing my husband's personality type. That way I can treat him the way he likes to be treated. God bless his sweet little heart. That man loves details. I am allergic to details. So when he sits there telling me the world's worst story that never seems to end, I just sit there with a smile on my face because I know he really needs to get it out of his system, and I listen. And then when I know that I'm going to tell him something and bottom line it, nope, I got to give him more detail because that makes him feel better and enjoy the relationship more. A happy hubby equals happy wife. So, there's applications to all this stuff all over the place. But I mean, the hiring thing, I don't think it's looked at enough, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's a lot of places where employers can be doing better at hiring and how they hire and the questions they ask. I mean, I could spend all day talking about that because I've seen kind of everything. But this is definitely a key part of hiring correctly for the success of the business, the longevity of the employee, everybody's happiness level, etc.
Yep. Shout out to crystalknows.com for offering really cool assessments. It's really nice. The other thing that I think really warrants talking about is, let's say you don't actually want to use these assessments. If you learn enough about these particular things, you learn a lot about your avatar and their Enneagram or their disc or whatever it is that you like. I think there's a Myers-Briggs. If you can just get a really strong sense, you can also train yourself to just look for these things and pick up on how someone might wish to be treated, or what their decision-making process is, just by interacting with them. So you don't necessarily need to do assessments. You don't need to do those things. I remember taking sales training years ago and learning about how to quickly tell what someone's disc style is, obviously within a margin of error. But one of the quickest things you can do with your staff, with your avatars, is observe how people answer questions, because the different styles do different things. And you should mirror whatever you get when you're looking for an optimal relationship. If you get someone who's very straight and to the point, please, for the love of God, be straight and to the point with that person. If you get someone that really just wants to dive into the meeting and just, BS with you for 45 minutes and then have 10 minutes worth of actual meeting, okay, well, have fun with that person, because that's how they make decisions and that's how they'll want to do business with you. And, same is true with staff, same is true with clients, same is true with like vendors, everything. You can tell just by, observing how people show up. What I said a few minutes ago is really the big tip here. People tend to just show up, act how they're going to act, and just hope it works out. Well, that's great. Isn't that wonderful that most people do that? So you don't really need to guess too hard at like, what's their style? What's their Enneagram? No, you don't need to really guess. It's like they're showing you. Just observe. Like there's plenty of articles online about what these different things are, or whatever metric or tool you want to use. Just learn about it. For God's sakes, go to YouTube University and just like learn about this stuff. And then you'll be able to quickly tell and make better hiring decisions to support your avatar.
Agreed.
What else do you want to add? Anything?
No, I feel like that's a lot of information for today.
All right, cool. So this has been a really interesting conversation. Thank you. I mean, Julia, I think you know that I am obsessed with personality tests. I think they're just so fascinating. I could probably write a whole book about them. I did the Enneagram. I actually don't remember. I think I might be an 8 as well. You know me and my bottom line up front.
Like a wing 9. Ooh. I'm an 8 wing 7.
I'll have to Google all of this. You know me and my bottom line up front. Ooh, fun story before we put a bow on this one. I remember hiring you and you would love to tell me the story because I think you were trained in the nonprofit world to like tell the whole story and then conclude with, and therefore, blah. And I was like, no. Bottom line up front. And if I want details, I'll let you know. And I remember your like shock, horror, and a little bit of delight with, really? Okay. Here's the bottom line. You want more? Nope.
Yeah, a lot of people want detail. I personally don't care about it, but other people do.
Listen, we do. We're making ourselves look really bad. I think it's one of those things when there's trust established. Like when Julia tells me, listen, there was a problem, but I handled it. I know Julia, so I can be like, okay.
Right.
I don't need the details because I trust her to have handled the details on her own and probably hated the whole thing, but she dealt with it. Yup. Anyway, listen, guys, go to vision-advertising.com, sign up for the free emails. Seriously, there's lots and lots of great stuff in there. Connect with us on LinkedIn. We would love to connect with you. I'm always dropping knowledge like it's hot. So is Julia. We're here to provide lots of great information for you to grow your business. Yes, we would love to do business with you someday, but if we don't, that's okay. We are happy to serve you just the same. So this show is sponsored by Vision, and you can go and subscribe and like and rate and review and all the other words I probably forgot. I'm getting used to this whole podcasting thing. Anyway, smash all the buttons, do all the things, do all the subscribing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.